Um, but I've
And
done
this,
one class actually with Linda, who's coming,
Mhm.
how to make pasta from scratch, and it was like a 2-hour class. So
Yeah,
how do you
this
make
one,
pasta from scratch quickly? Is there such a thing?
well, sort of. You still need to have it rest. That's the big thing.
Oh yeah, that would took a long time.
Yeah, and this is not an egg pasta. This is semolina and water only. And I have a real simple recipe. It's like 300 grams of semolina. This is 150 grams of semolina. I made half a batch. And then you mix it with 165 grams of warm, very warm water at about 170 degrees Fahrenheit.
That's so precise. I'm gonna have to ask you to like write that down. No.
I can read
No.
that.
So
And then
why does it have to be that precise? I mean, you're given like exact amounts.
because somebody else has made sure that it works really well for that
Okay.
amount.
Oh,
So, and then you take this, you put it all in a Cuisinart, like a food processor, blitz it until it's all moist, take it out, and then start kneading. And usually you knead it for about 12 minutes.
And
I just,
the more angry you are, the better, right? I mean, forceful.
yeah, you have to put your whole body into it. So this is I made this countertop, and it's just a big chunk of granite. And this,
There you go.
I've got my whole weight that I'm pushing down on.
Right, you're leaning into it rather than trying to do it with your arms.
Correct.
And
So it will get nicer as the longer I knead it, the nicer it'll get. I have not added any.
oops. Sorry, Suzanne, I just muted you by mistake. Can you unmute yourself? Someone else was having
There we go.
background sound and I
Okay.
hit them instead of you.
So I
hit
don't
you instead of
know.
them.
I have not added any water into it yet, any additional water, because I want to wait a while, because sometimes it'll start getting nice and smooth once all of the little granules of semolina have all absorbed the water.
Okay.
And once it's, kind of developed all
That
the
looks really
glutens,
meditative. Like
I love it. It's like so mellow, because you can sit and think and go, okay, let's see.
It looks like a massage to me.
It is seriously massage.
so I mean you can do it while you do anything else.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, you could be
I mean,
watching a movie, you could be reading a book, reach up and flip the page every once in a while.
Yep, listening to people on a Zoom talk about not having the person there to do the work, or
It's like, how often do you make fresh pasta?
I probably make it once a month.
Okay.
And
Now, do
normally
you
this
make
this
the
is
dough
not
and then freeze it so you have some for later, or never do that?
I wouldn't freeze the dough. I would make the shape of all the noodles and freeze the noodles.
Okay.
But then so what you do is you put all the noodles into their shapes, sprinkle it all with a big thick layer of semolina so that they don't stick together, and then put it in the freezer. But put it in lumps that you're going to use. So if you make this,
okay, serving size. Yeah,
that's it. That's the word.
got it.
And then get the water boiling with lots of salt, because when you're using fresh pasta, you will boil it for a shorter amount of time than if it was dry. And so you want the water to be salty, kind of like the sea, is what they say.
And you want it really vigorously boiling.
Yep, exactly. And so you'll put
try
in
to
like
not drop it all in at once because it might get clumpy.
You can, and you can just like do a quick swirl with it.
Got it.
So, but the one I usually make, if I'm making a, like spaghetti noodles or, longer, thinner noodles, I will use an egg pasta. And, and some people say, okay, you want 2 eggs and a certain amount of flour and whatever. It depends on the size of your eggs and the type of your flour you're going to use.
Okay.
So
I have an attachment for my, my mixer, and I've used it twice.
Nice.
For making, well, I was lamenting I haven't used it much, but But I
I
have a hand one too that I've used more to make
Mhm.
like the, the linguinis. But my
Yeah.
favorite actually is where you make the long dowels
Mhm.
and then you cut them in about inch long, and then you get a fork and you just kind of run the fork over it and make like the spiral noodle.
Oh, yep.
For me, it's just satisfying and easy to make. But that's probably the only one I make. I wouldn't say regularly. I don't know.
Well, and if you're
Quarterly.
making an egg pasta, that'll be the longer shapes. If you're making lumpy, small ones, like I can't think of a single name of one now.
I was thinking maybe rotini, or is that the one I'm thinking of?
Gosh
Anyway.
darn it. Orecchieri, like the small ones.
Mhm.
Those
Well,
ones.
there's the other one where you put it on the spoon and it makes like a shell.
Yeah, yep. And so this one I'll probably make something with a fork, maybe. So this one, with the eggless pasta, that's when you make the smaller. That's what I've been told. The
Okay.
smaller things. And
Yeah, I've only done the
my
eggless ones. I don't think I've ever made an egg one.
egg ones are fun.
Yeah. So anybody have any questions for Suzanne? Because we
Well,
can watch her work for hours.
Well, I looked up semolina, and of course, I think it's very common because now it's available everywhere, but in the US, it's called farina, not to be confused with Italian farina, which is a common wheat flour.
Which is wheat, yeah.
So,
And I have regular
But
semolina.
I mean, they're
and I
both
bought
wheat.
it as-
Farina is cream of wheat, basically.
yeah.
and I bought just semolina. So
Yeah, you can buy semolina flour. It just
Well, that's my point, is now in the US, it's just says semolina on it, but apparently at one time it did not.
And is it perfect? I don't know. It works fine with me. So I'm just gonna let this rest now for half an hour, 20 minutes.
all right.
I have to cover it first. Never throw away your stuff, just wash it and reuse it.
There you
That's
go.
why I've got
Anybody
my
have any
hanging rack.
final questions? Thanks, Suzanne, for giving us an impromptu pasta lesson.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no problem.
Just like bon appetit. No, we're not ready for that yet.
Not quite.